This video is not intended for kids.
Cronus Network.
Alright, it's time for The Invisible Man. And this is a film that I haven't particularly been looking forward to. The last Blumhouse movie I went to see was Black Christmas, and, well, what a turd that was, huh? But this is actually getting pretty good reviews, and that has really upped my enthusiasm for wanting to go out and see this flick. So I'm hoping for something that's going to really work on film. Let's check it out.
To me. Walk right up to me, and I wouldn't be able to see him. Adrian is dead. He's not dead. He has figured out a way to be invisible.
Holly, will you please do your thing and drop some context for us? Give us the lowdown.
Gabe, I would love to drop some context and give the viewers of the channel the lowdown. The Invisible Man is obviously a long-standing IP. It's a science fiction story by the legendary H.G. Wells. Originally serialized in Pearson's Weekly in 1897, it was published as a novel that same year. Of course, it's also a part of Universal Studios' pantheon of classic monsters. Universal Studios distributed this latest effort as well.
This rendition is a contemporary telling of a classic tale. Well, in concept at least. This film has a women empowerment vibe about it, and will likely focus on the heroine rather than on the Invisible Man himself. Am I right?
That sounds about right, Gabe. Check the synopsis. After staging his own suicide, a crazed scientist manages to become invisible. He takes to stalking and terrorizing his ex-girlfriend. When the police refuse to believe her story, she decides to take matters into her own hands and fight back. The flick was released on February 28th of 2020. It was written and directed by Lee Winnell on a budget of $9 million and is Blumhouse's latest exploration of horror. So Gabe, what would you do if you were invisible?
I have no idea, Holly.
I'm sure.
Enough of that. Let's go to the movies. So I went to see The Invisible Man. I liked it! This movie is far better than it has any right to be. The critics are spot on. This thing is actually pretty good. As a horror movie, it hits the right notes. It's a good thriller. It's well crafted. There are a lot of moments that kind of really get to you and make you not so much jump. It's not a jump scare thing, but there are some what the moments for sure. And the film benefits from those clearly, and the acting is more than competent in this film, and you really actually get invested in the story. And I gotta say, this is a win. This is a win. And let's take a deep dive and get into the particulars, shall we?
This film is not going to blow you away with its cinematography or anything like that. It's not going to win an Oscar, but it's well directed, and the story manages to be interesting and mysterious. It creates suspense and tension. I was concerned it would lean heavily on tropes, but it comes off as fairly original, despite having a heroine no one believes and whose sanity is questioned, as only she can see what is really happening. Originality is sometimes about remixing elements into something that feels fresh, and that's accomplished here. The performances range from solid to very good. Let's go over them now.
Okay, let's check out the principal cast.
Oliver Jackson plays the Invisible Man, and he comes in as a solid. He is serviceable in the role. He doesn't get much time to really act, and we don't get to connect with the actor enough for him to bring very much weight to the table. However, he is by no means bad. Playing brother to the Invisible Man, Michael Dorman is another solid performance in this film. On screen more, he gets a chance to project confusion as to what his alignment really is. I found his character puzzling, and he kept me guessing, and I bought into what he was selling me, so I really enjoyed him in this role. Aldous Hodge plays a role whose relationship to our heroine is a bit mysterious. He seems to be a friend, possibly of the family, I had a hard time pinning it down. However, once I just accepted him as being there, he became a very likable watch. This is not going to be a performance for the ages by any means, but it's solid, and I really enjoyed watching him. I can say the same about Storm Reed, only her chemistry with some of the other casts was a bit off. I found her character to be a bit generic. Harriet Dyer delivers a solid performance as well. Her character can be slightly annoying at times, but not in an incredible way. She plays the heroine's sister after all, and sibling relationships can often be contentious. Then we have our heroine, who is by far the standout performance in this film. I love what Elizabeth Moss did with the character. I sometimes got a bit annoyed that she didn't tell me more about what her life was like prior to the flick, and that is something she is asked often. But it fits the situation, and is more of a writing issue than a performance one. Honestly, Moss was fantastic. I really connected with her character and grew to care for her. I also really enjoyed the character in and of herself. I loved her arc. Again, that is only limited by the limited information about her previous life that would have provided and established a better baseline from which her arc launched. Overall, if pressed, and rating within the context of genre and what this film projects itself to be, if pressed, I'm comfortable going as high as a 7.5. And that is more than a recommend on this flick. I urge you to give it a try, assuming, of course, you enjoy tension-driven thrillers with horror elements. That about does it for this episode of Gabe's Filmcast. As always, I ask that if you enjoyed this cast, you give it a thumbs up and share it with others. Also, subscribing to the channel helps immensely. Building a film community takes time, and I very much would like you all to be part of it. Thank you.